Hey, what is up, everyone? The LDB is back at it again, coming at you today with another Outriders video, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Borealis Monarch build that I've got going for the Technomancer. Now, I really don't know why I did not mess with the Techno for so long. I guess I figured it was just another bullet build, no big deal. But to my surprise, now that I've got this put together, this thing is an absolute ripper, guys. I mean, definitely give Trickster a run for its money. So, I hope you all enjoy and find this video helpful. If you do, please do me a huge favor and smash that like button. Subscribe for future content if you are new to the channel. We're almost at 13,000, guys. If we could break 13,000 by the end of the year, that would make me feel great. Also, don't be afraid to drop a comment down there below. So, other than that, let's get into it. Alright everyone, so I hope you enjoyed that. Now let's check out this class tree really quick, get a few things out of the way, and we'll move on to the good stuff. Now first things first, I want you to take note, especially if you are new to Technomancer, that the vast majority of your weapon damage is going to be coming from the long-range weapon damage category. As you can see towards the bottom down there, we get that 15% just for using Technomancer, plus we're going to be stacking that all over the build as well. My point being is simply use your weapon at a distance as much as physically possible. That's going to do a couple things for you. Obviously, give you that weapon damage boost, and that way you can melt them that much faster, and it's going to keep the enemies at a distance. That way you don't take as much damage. And that kind of brings me over to this node right here. Pretty controversial. Some people love it, some people hate it. I've been loving it, but I feel like this is a prime example for why you should use your weapon at a distance. It increases the damage that you receive from all sources by 15%, but it also increases the damage that you deal by 20%. That is huge. I just can't walk away from a 20% damage increase. So again, playing off a distance and this node, you should be doing just fine. Now moving on to this node right here, 1000% recommend using this one. Every time toxic is afflicted on an enemy, vulnerable status is inflicted as well. And vulnerable, they take 25% more damage. That is huge right there, and we're going to push it even further with this node right here. Vulnerable now goes up to 40% extra damage just for hitting them with toxic. And then we're going to be stacking the toxic damage. We got one there, we got one over here. And we have the nitrogen capsules, obviously, that decrease the distance considered to be long-range damage by 3 meters. We got 2 of them, so that way they can be that much closer, and you're still going to be getting that long-range damage bonus. And then the cherry on top, down here at the end, empowering antenna. Activating DK increases weapon damage for you and your allies 40% for 10 seconds. So as soon as you pop your bladed rounds there, you're going to get that damage up. And then what I've been doing is throwing the turret out, about 10 seconds after. That way you get that boost back, and you just keep cycling it. And I have the turret on, I think it's like a 6-second cooldown, and this goes every 10 seconds. So basically every time you're going to be throwing out that turret, you're going to get that extra damage boost up, and you can just keep cycling through it. So hope you guys understand where I'm going with this, and now let's move on to the skills. Alrighty, so onto the skills here. I'm going to be using the Cold Snap, the Blighted Rounds, and the Blighted Turret. Now, normally the Blighted Turret is going to give the toxic effect onto the enemies, right? But I have this set up so that it is going to inflict freeze on the enemies. And I will show you why once we get to the build. But not to mention the Blighted Rounds, basically everybody that you're going to be shooting, and we're going to be doing a lot of shooting, is going to get the toxic effect on them. So it's kind of counterproductive to have two skills that are going to be giving the same status effect. Not to mention the Blighted Turret here has a 6.5 second cooldown. I didn't really even have to work for that. It kind of just worked out that way. But point being is on the class tree, that last note, if you remember, if you throw this out every 10 seconds, you get that extra 40% damage up, and on a 6.5 second cooldown, I mean, you can do that no problem. I mean, you have that damage rolling the entire time. Now, moving on to the Cold Snap, I love this thing. If you're getting bombarded by a lot of enemies, you can hit them with this and freeze everybody. And then, I also have this set up on the build so that when you kill somebody that is frozen, they explode. And it's kind of like a chain reaction, like bone shrapnel, and they all just kind of just go down if they're all close together. It's awesome. So that's about it for the skills, guys. Let's move on to the actual build itself. Alright everyone, so here we go, on to the good stuff. Now as you can see over here, the base firepower, and that is definitely the base firepower, 195,000, our anomaly power 44.3, our health is at 22.4, and our armor is at 52.4. So overall, I have to say we're doing pretty good for a bullet build. Now on to the primary weapon here. The weapon of choice is the Amber Vault. I freaking love this weapon. If you do not have one, go out and grind it. I promise you it will be 100% worth it, because these two talents are absolutely crushing it. This weapon comes with armor piercing, healing received, and close range damage. I wish that close range was long range damage, but you know what? It is what it is. Again, these talents are killing it. We got Killing Spree on here. Killing shots increase damage by 25%, and it stacks up to 3 times, so that's 75% weapon damage. And then Dark Sacrifice, as soon as you enter combat, 75% weapon damage. That's a total of 150% extra weapon damage just for using these two talents. On top of the long range damage that we're stacking and all the other good talents, this is absolutely insane. This build just slaughters them. I've been loving it. Now, as far as a secondary weapon, if you don't have an Amber Vault, try using this, the Absolute Zero. It has crit damage, status power, and it does come with long range damage on there, so that's pretty good. But it comes with the ultimate freezing bullet. So as soon as you freeze them, we're going to be getting all that extra damage that I'll show you here in a little bit. So that definitely helps out. And throw like Killing Spree on there, or Bone Shrapnel, or whatever you feel like. Whatever works good for you. And this thing can work out pretty good. So other than that, let's get on to these gear pieces. Alrighty, so let's start right here with the headgear, the Crown of the Borealis Monarch. But let's take a look at what we're going to get as a set bonus first. It increases the damage on frozen enemies by 90%, guys. That is absolutely insane. Also, critical hit damage is increased by 10% for all party members for 8 seconds after you use the Cold Snap. So whenever you're running with a group, pop that Cold Snap whenever you can. Give them a little bit extra crit damage. But this piece comes with bonus firepower, status power, and long range damage. There's that long range damage I was talking about. Stack that wherever you can. And it comes with the talent Twins on there, and I went ahead and put Ice Component on there for the Blighted Turret. The turret now inflicts freeze instead of toxic for obvious reasons now that you've seen the set bonus, and it gets even better once we get down to that lower armor. Oh boy. But also, I left Twins on here because if you really wanted to, you could run 2 different turrets. You could run the Cryo Turret and then the Blighted Turret that is going to freeze as well. That way you're going to get freeze from 2 different places, and then you got the Cold Snap as well, and you have your Blighted Rounds for the toxic effect. So I hope you guys are following what I'm putting down there, and this is all making sense, but this thing is an absolute beast. Alrighty, so moving on to the upper armor here, comes with bonus firepower, status power, and that long range damage again with the talent Icicle Storm for the Cold Snap. Killing enemies frozen by the skill makes them explode, dealing 252,000 damage in a 5-meter radius. This is what I was talking about when we were going over the skills. If they're all bombarding you, they're all running up on you real close, or if they're supposed to come out like a door or something like that, hit them with the Cold Snap, freeze them, and then when you kill one of them, it pops, and they all explode. They all just drop. It's absolutely amazing. Everyone shatters. It's a beautiful thing. And then I went ahead and put Bloodlust on there because obviously ups your firepower 17,000, stacks up 3 times, and great way to get your damage up. Okay, so moving on to the lower armor here, comes with bonus firepower, status power, and some more long-range damage. I went ahead and put Shatter on here. It deals 25% more damage against enemies afflicted by freeze, and it already has freezing boost on here. Boost your damage against enemies afflicted by freeze by 15%, on top of the 90% we're going to get from the set bonus. I just put these two talents together on this piece so that everything is just lined up for freeze damage. I mean, gotta love that right there. Alrighty, so on to the gloves here. Nothing too crazy, just some purple gloves, bonus firepower, status power, and some cooldown reduction this time instead of that long-range damage. And I kept that because I really want to get the cooldown on my cold snap as low as possible. These also came with trick up the sleeve, so that's a bonus as well. Easy way to get my ammo back and keep it going. And I went ahead and put Captain Hunter on there. Pretty much a must for a build like this. It increases the damage against elites 25%, and without that, those elites, those bosses, can really turn into bullet sponges, and you don't want that because then you're going to drain your mag and you go on cooldown. So definitely put that Captain Hunter on there at all costs. Alright, so on to the final piece here, the foot gear. They are the boots of the Borealis Monarch, and yes, I am running a 4-piece Borealis set. And I would honestly recommend that you do the same thing simply for talent management. It is very tricky to try to get all of these damage talents all lined up on this entire build. You only have so many slots, and it can get tricky at times. So I went with the 4-piece, and not to mention the boots here have max health on them, and they also come with Sharp Eye already on it. Now, max health, you might be thinking, well, why'd you use that? Because that is the only place, literally the only thing on my entire build that has any kind of max health. Nothing on the class tree, nothing on any of the other pieces. That is the only way I have any kind of health boost on the entire build. Also has that cooldown reduction I was talking about, so I can get my cold snap a little bit lower, and that long range damage. So overall, I think, I can sacrifice one piece for max health instead of the firepower just to get everything to line up that much easier. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying about that. Now, also, like I said before, it comes with Sharp Eye on there. Killing enemies while aiming down sights grants you 16,000 firepower, and it stacks 3 times. So again, we're getting another big boost of damage. And then I went ahead and put Euthanizer on there, deal 25% more damage against enemies afflicted by toxic. And again, every time you shoot a bullet, they're gonna be getting hit with the toxic. So hopefully you guys understand where I'm going with this. This set is absolutely amazing. It's pretty aesthetically pleasing too. I mean, he looks pretty badass, I think, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did and you found this video helpful, please do me a huge favor and smash that like button. Subscribe for future content. Almost at 13,000 subs. If I can get there before the new year, that would really be awesome. But other than that, guys, I hope you take it easy. I will see you on the next one. Later.